Hello everyone and welcome to another video on my channel PokePidge. This is part 3 of my trailer analysis video series on the new Gen 8 games Pokémon Sword and Pokémon Shield. In this part I'm going to be going through the Galar region map that we got introduced to in the trailer. Obviously not everything is going to be given away on this map, but we still have enough there to keep us excited for these new games. So I suppose without further ado, let's get straight into it. It looks like we're going to be starting at the bottom of the map and somehow working our way upwards to the top. Down at the bottom of the map you can see what looks like your hometown, or at least the house that was in the trailer. On the left here you can see the lovely little picturesque cottage, and on the right there, a potential lab maybe. It's got a Pokemon trainer arena outside for battles, and as well as that you can see the little fletchling on the top as a nice little weather vane, again what we saw in the trailer. Moving on to B, on the right hand side there, the purple building, that looks like another potential lab number 2. There will be 3, but here's number 2 for a start. It looks like it's got a conservation area on the right of it, but it could be anyone's guess. The building in the middle is obviously some kind of train station. This will take you to the next town or the next route, but either way it will take you onwards. To the right of what I'm going to assume is the second town is a route that takes you up to this purple building. Again, another potential lab. This also has a Pokemon trainer arena outside of it, and I believe this is the one that we saw in the trailer right at the beginning that had all the scuffs on it. But either way, if you take the train from that second town, I believe you end up here. This could look like a train station from a sort of sideways angle, and it doesn't look like it's in a town. That's because it looks like it takes you to a route. Of course the train could also take you to the left hand side there on that viaduct, but I fully believe that this building is going to be a train station and we're going to get out here and work our way through this route, through the rivers here, encounter some wild Pokemon. This is probably where they'll add a good few new Pokemon, some new Gen 8 Pokemon, which I'm really excited for. So this could be like Route 2 or Route 3 or whatever it's going to be number wise, and this will take you on to the third town. There's not particularly too much of note from here. It looks like the industrial area we saw in the trailer when they announced the 3 generation starters of Grookey, Sobble and Scorbunny. I'd like to point out to people now that that is not Big Ben. We will see something styled off Big Ben later. I don't know what this is, probably some sort of cathedral or something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure. We shall see when the game comes out. I don't particularly know why there's water on that left hand side. Is this place going to be like Venice, which is absolutely covered with water? I don't know. Apparently Birmingham has more canals than Venice. So, is this a town that's based off of Birmingham? We shall see. Being a third town, they usually have gyms. For example, in Gen 1, Pewter City. In Gen 2, Violet City. Gen 3, Petalburg. Gen 4 was the exception. Jubilife was the third city but had no gym. But apart from that, Striaton in Gen 5, Santaloon in Gen 6, and then Gen 7 didn't have gyms, they had trials. So all but one generation has had a gym in the third town or city. To the left of here we have another train track. I don't particularly know where this goes. Of course you can see a little route there that takes you into a cave as well. I really don't know what this building is. Again, it looks industrial, but I don't really have anything to say on these. I fully believe you're going to leave town over one of these 2 viaducts. It looks like the top one goes into a tunnel. It also looks like this is a route you can walk on. So you're going to be walking to some sort of cave or hill. But either way, eventually this route leads up to this town here. This is a very picturesque town, and you can totally understand why it's got a water gym right in the middle of it. Yes, if you haven't been familiar with gyms, this is exactly what they look like. We can see 5 of these throughout the trailer, possibly 6, but I'll get onto that later. But of course this is only fitting that it's the water type gym. It looks like it's on a harbour, it's got the lighthouse there as well, and it's absolutely picturesque. And again, as you can tell, another sort of train track or something going round this town? I don't know. They come up all over the place, these train tracks. And as you can see there, it kind of looks like the route goes off to the left, behind those 2 buildings if you can see that. Which brings us on to the next image. Yet another viaduct taking us on to this building, with the crown in the middle of it. This could be another reference to the Battle Chateau that we had in X and Y, where you could go from being a Baron all the way to being a Grand Duke. It was very regal, and I can see that theme carrying over into this game, because the theme of royalty and just anything regal like the crown and kings and queens and swords and shields and anything, I can see that carrying on throughout these games. And as for that path at the bottom, it looks like a specific shape, but I have absolutely no idea why. But either way, if you carry on to the left, you'll enter this grass town. The grass type gym in the middle there is of course the centrepiece, and it's surrounded by those solid stone structures similar to Stonehenge. I can still say that tongue twister. But what is interesting is the shape of this town sort of looks like an amphitheatre. This would be very interesting, considering the fact that William Shakespeare was an Englishman and the Galar region is based off of England and Scotland and hopefully Wales. It would only make sense for them to somehow include this in the game. The placement of this town in the Galar region map is similar to the placement of Stratford-upon-Avon in the real world. Stratford-upon-Avon is of course where Shakespeare was born, so having an amphitheatre here could be a direct reference to something along those lines. Maybe the gym is going to have a theme of some sort of theatrical performance or acting. I don't know. Either way, it's going to be interesting to find out. And of course, the elephant in the room here, yes, the hill figure is there. But I'm going to save those thoughts for next week. Moving slightly further upwards from here brings us to the next city, and what looks like a very dragon-based city. First of all, the entrance to this city has a dragon head on it. That is absolutely beautiful. Well, I can only assume it's some kind of entrance to the city. It's right in the middle. Hopefully that's going to be a new Pokemon. It looks like this Pokemon has got a crown on already, which is quite interesting considering the fact that this city has got a building with a crown in the middle of it. To the left again you see another building with another dragon on top of it, and what looks like a Pokemon trainer arena outside yet again. I don't believe this is a gym, it's not the right shape and doesn't fit the theme, however it's going to be quite interesting to see what this building is. What's interesting on the right hand side here, apart from the close up of that crown, is that these sort of structures on the right here are broken. You can see the top one there is snapped in half, and where it looks like the rest should be connecting to the building or connecting to the ones on the left hand side, they look broken off as well. Did a dragon just fire itself through the middle of this hole and break the structure? That would be pretty cool. It seems a weird structure to choose to have that way. And of course down the bottom there it looks like you've got some sort of cathedral. This is very much styled off of the cathedrals you see all around the UK. It looks like you've got a cave to the back there as well. Is that going to be a way to a dragon type legendary? I don't know. But moving on and going to the right hand side of this, we see a little maze. I say maze, it looks extremely easy to get around it, but still. I assume this is going to be an area we have to navigate through. There's going to be some new, maybe ground type Pokemon in here, or rock types, fighting types maybe. And it's going to be pretty interesting to see what they've got in store for this area. It does lead on to a northern region in this map, which is a very snowy region. However, first, to the right hand side here, I don't know what this is. This isn't an industrial building of sorts. This very much looks like a more modern style building, and it very much gives me a psychic type Pokemon vibe. We've seen to the right of the city, and now let's look to the left, and what looks like a very ground type based town. You have the 3 Diglett down there, and yes, I'm saying 3 Diglett, not Dugtrio, because they look like Diglett. They don't look like Dugtrio faces. But either way, you have the carving of the 3 Diglett down there. You have a gym which is a very dark brown colour, which is indicative of the ground type. And not only that, the little icon in the middle of the gym is very, very much a ground type icon. Either way, you will make your way up here, battle the gym, and then go to the left with this very, very colourful mural. I can only assume this is some sort of door or something, because if you go through it and work your way above it, you will get to here. To me, this is very much a fairy type gym. The luminous mushrooms remind me of Moralol. And not only that, the very colourful mural down the bottom reminds me of Mina. She was an artist from the Alola region, and she was a trial captain. Can you guess what type she specialised in? That's right, the fairy type. But if this building isn't a fairy type gym, fair enough, I've given my input, but I'm happy to be proven wrong. But anyway, going back to the top of that little maze area will take you to this, town, I suppose? I know it doesn't look very towny, but on the top of there, it looks like a gym. Personally, I think this is going to be the first dark type gym. We haven't had one yet, we've had some dark Elite 4 members, and in the Alola region in Generation 7, we had a dark type Island Kahuna. But like I say, we've never had a dark type gym, so I fully believe this is going to be the first one. And to the bottom of this town looks like a very icy area that you'll probably be able to surf on. Although I'd rather not swim in it, it's probably very cold. Further north of this area you can see yet another train station, another train track, But this leads on to another town, and this is what looks like the main city of the region. Obviously you can tell that this is centred off of London. You can tell that from the buildings in the background for a start. They are very commercial, very, very London based if you've ever been there or seen the skyline of London, which you probably have. But of course, as well as this, to the left you've got something here, which is styled off of Big Ben, not like the place earlier on. As well as that, you've got something that looks like the London Eye, and then the building in the middle. And I'm not entirely sure what this is based off of. I think this is just a new building in general, they're just adding something to the middle. I'm not entirely sure what's in it, but we'll find out. I more want to have a look though at this building here, the red building on the right hand side. We have seen this Pokemon logo before. To me, this is the Pokemon Gym logo, sort of looks like the Pepsi logo, but either way, it looks like a gym logo. So, why would it be on this building here, which doesn't look like any other gym we've seen before? If I bring up a couple of images of the gyms themselves, you can see it's got a very similar sort of door structure in the fact that it's got the 4 windows at the top and a main door in the middle and 2 little ones either side. And then of course the logo as well. So is this another gym, or is this the Elite Four? I do like the fact that it's sort of got an arch over it though, like Wembley Stadium does. That's a pretty nice feature. But apart from that, there's not too much of note. Just a nice little park and courtyard down the middle, but generally this is quite a nice looking city. It'll be very fun to explore, and of course there's going to be so many buildings there. The capacity of the Switch is going to bring us much better graphics, and of course they're going to add more features in and more places to visit in cities and towns, and we can only look forward to that. But for now, that's all I've got on this map. What are your thoughts on some of the things that I have picked out to mention? Do you disagree with me on some things? Do you agree with me on some things? That'll be a first. But either way, what are your thoughts? Let me know, add a comment down below, like, share and subscribe if you want to, that's always helpful. But until next week for the 4th and final part of this series, I will see you later.